and welcome back to A Course in Miracles, Workbook, Lesson 19. Our lesson for today is, I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. For today's practices, it is required to do at least 3 practice periods, but it's not recommended to do more than 4. I'm going to assume that they want us to do the periods for about a minute, since that is the common time frame, but it does not actually say for this lesson. It just says that you can shorten the practice period time if necessary. So for this, we are going to state to ourselves, I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. Then you are going to examine the thoughts coming up into your mind with your eyes closed. During this time, don't regulate your thoughts at all, but focus in on the main themes that are coming up from your thoughts and label them as that. So if I am thinking about, possibly getting into a car crash, I don't know why I would be thinking about that right now, but if I'm thinking about that and thinking about how maybe I didn't lock my front door and someone might break in, you could do those as 2 separate thoughts. You could label them as, I am thinking about car crashes and I am thinking about breaking and entering. Or you could combine those because you have them in succession and say, I am thinking about danger, or I am thinking about lack of safety. So focus on what feels the most right for you. If you're doing that, you're going to do this with each thought that you're having, not just label the thought itself, but you have to do that before you can say the statement. So the statement is, I am not alone in experiencing the effects of this thought about the theme that you are thinking about. Let me try to do this. Okay. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of this thought about isolation. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thought on accuracy. I am not alone in the effects of my thought on physical sensation. I am not alone in the effects of my thoughts on worry. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thought on time. Just let your thoughts kind of build off of each other to change. But from this, what we are doing is recognizing that there's really no separation between our thoughts and our perception, whereas it states that the results of our thinking are really simultaneous, which means that the cause and effect are never separate from each other. And to recognize that all thoughts are really one joint thing. There is probably resistance coming up for that if you have not had any experience or previous knowledge with this thought. But really, when you boil down to it, there are no private thoughts, as it says. Our thoughts project to other people. Some people are better at perceiving this than others, but to any extent, our thoughts are projected outward where others can recognize this. You can recognize it through being empathic. You can recognize it through body language, different ways. Some people can actually be telepathic. And if we're going into like the ET realm, they are definitely telepathic and can, jump in and observe our thoughts. And that isn't something that we should be resistant to in actuality, because in the words of that the book uses, this would lead us to salvation because this is the will of God. But we have been conditioned to want this privacy and to hold ourselves back because that is what feels safe. But in reality, we are causing ourselves more struggles because we put up these protective boundaries for ourselves. In a way, we can protect ourselves from certain things, but it is more beneficial for us and will provide more safety and happiness in the long run by not putting up these protective barriers and fully embracing who we are and expressing that. And by doing that, we can allow others to recognize us and understand us as a whole. And deep down, that's really what we want. But we hold back because we have been conditioned to worry and fear about what will happen if we do that. We are scared of rejection because we think that we are separate. And so through this, we are beginning to bridge that separation to recognize that if all of our thoughts are the same, right, that means that no one can reject your thoughts at the deepest level. There cannot be any rejection because everyone is you. Everyone is the same. It is about unity.